OMG. 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 Yes, ma'am.
Just to start off, did you find that the House managers made a persuasive argument today?
They've done very well. I think that's generally conceded. And I think everybody looks forward to see how the president's defense team will do tomorrow.
What is it that you would hope to hear from the president's defense team?
Well, there was a few things that they laid out with great care. The timeline in which you see the events unfold. And during that timeline, the president's inaction in calling out support for the police officers. As on the timeline, you hear the police officers say, "We're outflanked, let's go back." And you hear it from, I think, Officer 50 in a panic-stricken voice. They're using weapons on us, they're using bear spray. And the president was calling to try and get more senators to decertify the election. Now, presumably, since we were at that point being evacuated, and I think he was told that, there was some awareness of the events. And so what I hope the defense does is explain that. If one of the charges is that you should have called out people and you didn't, even though it was clear that the police officers were under assault, please explain that. I think the other thing that I want to hear the defense speak to, because the House managers made much of this, is that the president continued to say the election was stolen. I still have people back home who swear that the Dominion machines were rigged, even though different news outlets have printed retractions, apologies, and otherwise disassociated themselves from that story. But obviously the president repeated it over and over. That clearly had an impact. So when the point was made, people felt as if they had no recourse because their vote was being stolen. Well, the president built that story. So how do you defend that? How do you describe that? Because again, people will still be telling me that Dominion rigged the machines.
Is there any question in your mind that Donald Trump was responsible for the riot here on January 6th?
Ask me after I hear the defense arguments. There's a proverb, your mind is persuaded, but you should hear the other side. Somewhere in Proverbs chapter 10, but I don't remember the exact verse. You need Langford for that.
So is your mind persuaded, but you need to hear the other side?
You don't make a decision as a juror until you hear both sides. Period. End of story. And so that's why if you ask me the questions I wish to have addressed, I would like to have those addressed. But I don't make a decision until I've heard the other side.
We've noticed that you've been taking very extensive notes in the chamber, really thinking this through. Can you walk us through, what is your review process like? How difficult is this decision for you to come to?
Ask me after I hear the defense. Everybody wants to know what you're going to vote before you know how you're going to vote.